Let's start with a little game of fact or fiction. A t-shirt that you wrote for California Pizza Kitchen played a small part in the OJ trial.
That is true. I'm reminded of this actually because OJ just passed away, God rest his soul, I guess. But anyway, when I was a junior, part of the fun of being a junior is you get the random assignments of like, write the t-shirt for California Pizza Kitchen. And I wrote it and it had some sort of weird message on it. I guess this was a time when the jurors were fighting or whatever. And then the next Monday, they came into court all wearing this t-shirt that had this message on it. And I remember lighting up the news all day and like being on Geraldo at night on Fox News. And there's just this great image of OJ and his lawyers all just staring at the jury as they walk in going, what the fuck does this mean? There's so much reading into it. And they're like breaking down every word of the message. And I was just like, it was just an assignment. Sorry.
What did it say?
It's funny because someone sent it to me. It said something like 14 ethnically diverse cultures peacefully living on a thin, delicious crust. So they took that to mean like, can't we all get along? It was really about the flavors of pizza that they offer. And they're like the crust of the earth. And like, it's this message for like everybody getting along and all that kind of stuff, which it kind of was a play on that, but they read a lot into it. Dare I say affected the jury? Hopefully not, but.
That's crazy. It is funny to see when your stuff kind of becomes a part of culture in some weird way.
Yeah, I know. I remember sitting in my shitty little apartment in LA watching all this like Fox News dissect this thing and holding it up and trying to think it. It's like if you only knew how little thought went into this t-shirt, you wouldn't be talking.
Okay, before she got famous in the early days of the internet, you met Jennifer Aniston in a chat room and ended up dating for almost 2 years, and you have a small Jen tattoo in the small of your back.
Parts of that are true. No, none of that is true. I will say though, when I lived in LA, I went to this guy to cut my hair, and his name is Chris something or other. And I went to him all the time. And then he did Jennifer Aniston's Friends cut, and I never fucking saw him again because I could never get into him. And he became like the guy in Hollywood doing everybody's hair. But so that's my only Jennifer Aniston connection.
You were like, come on, man, get me in for that Aniston haircut.
I wanted the Friends cut bad. He's like, no, that's Jen's thing. That's between us. So, yeah.
So I was actually one of the first campaigns that I produced at Wyden. We were in LA making it, and we were shooting with Jared Hess, the director of Napoleon Dynamite. It was his first ever commercial campaign that he ever did. And we were at Moxie Pictures. We're leaving. And as I'm walking out one of the office doors, like on the hallway, opens up, and this woman, walks out. A dog comes out into the hallway, and this woman comes out to get the dog, picks up the dog, stands up, and it's Jennifer Aniston. And she turns toward me, and she's like, "Oh, hi," and put her hand out. "I'm Jen," and introduced it. Like, I didn't say hi. She said hi. She put her hand out. She introduced herself, and so she was super nice.
Yeah, from all accounts, I've heard she is actually really nice in person. But that's a lot about Jennifer Aniston.
That's the most of this podcast is going to be focused on Jennifer Aniston.
I like that angle.
Okay, you once had a surreal moment on set where you had a conversation with James Brown and Marilyn Manson.
Yes, that is also true. Because we were shooting BMW films at that time. That was one of those projects where every day was surreal because you're just the people you're dealing with and the kind of situations they threw you in. But anyway, we were shooting this one with Tony Scott was the director, and James Brown was a star, and there's a cameo with Marilyn Manson, so they were on set the same day. And they were just over there talking, and I was standing around them, kind of happy to be in their circle for some reason. And the conversation was amazing. I remember Marilyn asked James Brown to sign his Bible, and James Brown goes, "Do you believe in Jesus?" And Marilyn had the best answer. He said, "I believe in him. I just don't think he believes in me." I was like, whoa, shit. Like, this is a moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did James say to that?
God bless. Signed it. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. So you used to work down the hall from the author of everyone's favorite ad book, Hey Whipple Squeeze This, and ad legend Luke Sullivan. Fact or fiction?
That is a true fact. That is one of the benefits of working at Fallon during those times is it was pretty much a hall of legends. Very intimidating for a junior to walk around and see all these names. But Luke would sit in his office and bang out some brilliance. He was actually writing that book when I got there, and he had like a bunch of interns proofreading it for him.
That's crazy. Yeah, I remember before that book came out, I knew who Luke Sullivan was. He was a copywriting legend.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, you once told the CEO of GE, General Electric, that you were on acid, and you told the co-founder of Fallon, Miguel Pat Fallon, that you drink before work. Fact or fiction?
Yeah, it really this comes under the heading of things not to say to the people at the top. Jokingly on both of them, I don't do either of those things. But the one time when I got the opportunity to meet the head guy of GE at the time, one of the most important people in the world of business, and they were taking him through a tour of the agency. I was sitting in the ECD office, the office of the ECD of GE, and they brought him in to meet me and him. And they said, "Oh, this is Greg. He wrote that ideas spot that you like, which is like this kind of ideas creature weird thing." He's like, "Oh, were you on some kind of acid flashback when you wrote that?" I said, "No, it wasn't a flashback." He just looked at me like, "What the fuck?" I gotten into. I was like, and then he laughed. I think he got that I didn't mean I was actually doing acid during the thing. And then the Pat Fallon was kind of another stupid thing because I was a really dumb junior. I've never met Pat Fallon. I just kind of knew the name. I didn't even know if he was still in the building or not. And Pat was great, super personable guy. But he went around the building, and then I was working on some Miller Lite stuff that he liked, and he knew that I'd written it. So as he passed me in the hall, he's like, "Hey, Greg, do you drink beer?" And first thing I thought of was like, just before work in the mornings. And he looked at me and he looked at me, and then he laughed, and he's like, "Okay," and kept walking.
Just before, only before work.
Yeah, then he just kept walking, and kind of had the idea that he probably thought I was either really dumb or had a problem from there on. A little bit of both.
There was more of that going on back in the early days.
Yeah, there probably was. I think I kind of missed that era. I came right under the radar of that era. But we had Miller Lite, so there was a lot of it floating around. So he was probably like, "Wait, does he?" No, I didn't.
Though it masquerades as an ad agency, Mischief is actually a money laundering operation owned by the Russian drug cartel.
I will not confirm or deny that as fact or fiction. That is absolutely fiction. We are an ad agency and whatever you call it, ad agencies these days.
For
the record, we are not a laundering service.
I'm going to edit that out and just have you say that is absolutely false because that sounded very guilty.
It did sound like I had too much to object to.
You were
like, don't ever say that again. Don't ever bring that up again.
Thou protest too much. Most of those seem like they would be fictional, but they are in fact factual, which is, I think, one of the fun things about this industry is, as your stories just show, like, I don't know what else I could have done personally that I would have had so many weird and unusual and cool experiences.
But it exposes you to a lot of interesting people and puts you in a lot of unusual spaces. So there's many more factual based stories in my closet, but yeah, you found some good ones.
Hey everybody, if you're interested in making better work and would like to know exactly how my teams and I at Wieden & Kennedy and now at Alto have been making award-winning work for the past 20 years on brands like Nike, Old Spice, KFC, and others, I have what has been called the industry's premier creative coaching and mentorship program. I didn't call it that, but other people did, and then I just said it into this microphone just now. I've taken almost 700 creatives through my program so far, and they have an average 5-star rating. Is that 5 out of 10? If that's 5 out of 10, that's a really bad rating. Oh, it's 5 out of 5. It's 5 out of 5, everybody. That's an A+. These programs are not for everyone, but if you qualify, I will personally teach you exactly, step by step, how to rapidly start doing the best work of your life. I have sessions starting in 1 week, and nearly every session so far has sold out. So if you are interested in grabbing one of the final remaining spots, you can apply at the link below. I hope to see you there.